Have you ever heard that phrase that says, "To shine on stage, you must first endure many shadows"? Well, that could be the perfect definition of Lee Junho's life. Before becoming recognized as one of Korea's greatest artists, before shining on stage as a member of 2PM and moving the world with his performances in hit dramas, Junho faced challenges that would make many give up halfway. And it is precisely this true story, full of falls, triumphs, that we will tell here today. But wait, we're not just talking about another famous singer. We're talking about someone who nearly lost his career because of an injury, who endured endless nights of painful training, who was told countless times that he didn't have what it took to reach the top, and yet, he never gave up. Have you ever stopped to think how many dreams are destroyed before they even begin? June was almost another one of those cases, but his determination made all the difference. Imagine yourself, still a teenager, bearing the pressure of being a trainee at one of Korea's biggest entertainment companies. While friends went out to play, Junho was in a rehearsal room repeating dance steps until he collapsed from exhaustion. While others rested, he tried to sing better, correcting every detail, striving for perfection. This isn't just discipline, it's passion. And it's also a powerful example of resilience that anyone can be inspired by. And do you know what makes this journey even more impressive? It's that, despite all the difficulties, Junho never lost his smile or his desire to evolve. He reinvented himself, left the idol label behind, and earned respect as an award-winning actor. Today, when you see him shining in series like The Red Sleeve, you need to remember, behind this success, there is a long road of pain, struggle, and overcoming. So, if you enjoy inspiring real stories, if you want to go behind the scenes that no one tells you and discover the secrets that made Junho who he is today, subscribe to the channel, like it, and activate the bell. Because what you're about to hear will change the way you view the word success. From a young age, Lee Junho didn't just want to live an ordinary life. He dreamed big, dreaming of getting on stage, singing and dancing for crowds. But turning that dream into reality wasn't easy. In 2006, he participated in a program called Superstar Survival Imagine, a teenager surrounded by hundreds of other talented young people, all fighting for the same opportunity. Junho could have been just another one, but he drew attention for his dedication and determination. He won the show, but anyone who thinks victory brought instant fame is mistaken. In fact, it was just the beginning of an even more difficult journey. Soon after the show, Junho joined JYP Entertainment as a trainee. And this is where the story reveals how much the stage requires sacrifice. While many young people enjoyed school and friends, he spent hours stuck in rehearsal rooms, repeating dance steps until his feet hurt and his voice broke. How many times have you thought about giving up on something because it seemed too difficult? Junho thought about it, but he didn't give in. He knew that every sweat, every tear, and every sleepless night were steps to reaching the stage. This period was marked by uncertainty and enormous pressure. There was no guarantee he would debut. At any moment, he could be replaced by another trainee. Yet, he continued. This phase shaped not only the artist, but also the person the world would later know. And it's at this point that her journey begins to become even more surprising, when Junho's body is put to the test in a way that nearly destroys her dream. From an early age, Lee Junho showed signs that he would not follow a common path. While many children were occupied only with studies and games, he had within him the desire to step onto the stage and make a living from his art. His talent for singing and dancing became increasingly evident, and this special brilliance led him to participate in 2006 in a competition program called Superstar Survival. The program brought together talented young people from all over Korea, and with each stage, the competition grew fiercer. Despite his youth, Junho was undeterred. Through hard work and dedication, he managed to win the competition, demonstrating not only skill, but also discipline and determination to pursue his goals. However, what might have seemed like a happy ending was actually just the beginning of a long and demanding journey. Winning the show didn't mean instant success. Junho joined JYP Entertainment as a trainee, and the life of a trainee was far from glamorous. He faced a grueling routine, with endless hours of rehearsals, vocal training, and performance auditions. The environment was competitive, and each day he had to prove himself worthy of remaining among the selected candidates, as any mistake could cost him his spot. While other young people his age were experiencing typical teenage experiences, Junho spent nights in rehearsal rooms, repeating choreography until exhaustion. The pressure was constant, and there was no guarantee that all this effort would result in a debut. Still, he persisted. This phase of his life was marked by physical exhaustion, internal doubts, and sacrifices, but also by the development of unshakable willpower. Junho was determined to move forward, even if the path was long and full of obstacles. This period of preparation not only shaped him as an artist, but also strengthened him as a person. These were years that shaped his character and taught him the importance of resilience. It was just the beginning of a story that would later inspire millions of fans around the world. Lee Junho's life as a trainee was already difficult. The constant pressure, long hours of rehearsal, and daily competition were already demanding on his body and mind. But an even greater challenge was about to emerge. During one of his intense dance training sessions, Junho suffered a serious shoulder injury. For a young man who depended on movement and body language to achieve his dream, this was devastating. The diagnosis left no doubt. Serious treatment was needed, and even with all the care, there was no guarantee he would be able to dance the same way again. For any aspiring idol, an injury like this could mean the end of a career before it even began. Junho underwent painful surgeries and physical therapy sessions, but the recovery process was slow and fraught with limitations. While his peers continued to advance, he was often forced to watch from the sidelines, unable to move as he would have liked. This period was marked by uncertainty and fear. He knew that entertainment companies were demanding and wouldn't hesitate to replace someone who wasn't at peak fitness. The shadow of resignation loomed large over him, and there were days when everything seemed to be falling apart. Still, Junho didn't let himself be defeated. Even though he was physically limited, he sought other ways to continue evolving. He spent hours studying music, strengthening his voice, and dedicating himself to everything that didn't directly depend on his injured shoulder. Pain was a constant companion, not just the physical pain, which often prevented him from sleeping, but also the emotional pain of feeling behind other trainees. But it was during this difficult time that a new side of Junho began to emerge. Someone defined not only by natural talent, but by the persistence to keep going, even when everything seems impossible. The recovery took time, but the effort was not in vain. Little by little, Junho was able to dance again, although the memory of the injury never completely left him. This experience left scars, but it also strengthened his determination. If he was already dedicated before, now he was willing to fight even harder to achieve the place he dreamed of. After overcoming a period marked by pain and uncertainty, Lee Junho finally saw his efforts begin to bear fruit. In 2008, after years of intense training and endurance tests, he officially debuted as a member of the group 2PM, formed by JYP Entertainment. The group was introduced to the public with a bold proposal: to be different from traditional boy groups that relied on delicate and soft visuals. 2PM became known as the group of Beast Idols, precisely because of their energetic performances, acrobatic choreography, and powerful stage presence. For Junho, this moment was both the fulfillment of a dream and the beginning of new challenges. Being on stage as part of a famous group was incredible, but it also meant that the struggle to stand out wasn't over. Each member had unique talents, and audiences naturally compared them to one another. While some quickly gained attention for their outgoing personalities or striking voices, Junho was still seen by many as just another member of the six. Despite this, his discipline and effort soon began to be noticed. In live performances, his charisma and precision in his movements drew attention, even if silently. He wasn't the type to seek the spotlight at any cost, but his dedication made a difference. Gradually, the audience began to see him as a pillar of the group, someone who, even without exaggeration, gave consistency and strength to the performances. 2PM's success was immediate. Songs like 10 out of 10, and then Again and Again put the high group at the top of the charts and cemented their image as strong and determined idols. Junho was finally living his dream of performing for crowds, but he knew there was still much to achieve. Debut wasn't the end of the struggle, but rather the beginning of a new stage, where each performance was a chance to show the world he deserved to be there. This was the beginning of a brilliant period, but also one fraught with even greater pressure. Being in the spotlight brought recognition, but also the need to prove day after day that I wasn't just another member, but a complete artist in the making. After debuting with 2PM, Lee Junho had already achieved part of his dream, singing and dancing on the biggest stages in Korea and abroad. The group was at the height of its popularity, drawing crowds, winning awards, and establishing itself as one of the leading names in the second generation of K-pop. But amidst all this brilliance and energy, Junho still harbored a concern: how to stand out in a group with so many diverse talents? His colleagues attracted attention with their strong personalities, striking voices, and flashy gestures. Junho, on the other hand, was more reserved, discreet, and focused. He knew that if he didn't find a way to showcase his unique qualities to the public, he might go unnoticed. It was at this point that he decided to make discipline his trademark. While others rested after rehearsals, Junho remained training. His nights were longer, his movements more detailed, his pursuit of perfection almost tireless. This quiet effort began to pay off. In the choreography, his performance drew attention for its precision, strength, and expressiveness. He didn't just execute the steps, he seemed to tell a story with each movement. His voice, which had previously seemed timid compared to the powerful notes of other members, was patiently honed until it became one of the group's most reliable. Little by little, fans and critics alike realized that Junho didn't need to always be at the center of the song to be essential. It was during this period that he received the nickname Little Rain, a reference to the famous singer and actor Rain, due to their physical resemblance and dance style. Many might feel trapped by this comparison, but Junho saw it as an incentive to continue evolving and building his own identity. He wanted to be remembered not as a carbon copy, but as a complete artist with his own brilliance. This period proved that, even without the initial spotlight, his dedication was impossible to ignore. Junho not only remained at the group's level, but was beginning to be seen as one of the pillars that sustained 2PM's strength. His trajectory within the band made it clear that, for him, success didn't come from shortcuts, but from persistence in surpassing himself every day. With 2PM's success solidified, Lee Junho could have continued as a singer and dancer, living off the group's popularity. But within him lay an even greater restlessness, the desire to showcase other facets of his artistic talent. This led to the decision to try a new path: acting. For many, it seemed risky. The Korean public at the time tended to look askance at idols who tried to become actors, judging them as less prepared. Junho knew this, but he wasn't intimidated. His first break came with small roles in television productions, where he still needed to prove he was more than just a pretty face, but it was in film that his efforts began to gain momentum. In 2013, he starred in the film Cold Eyes, a crime thriller that demanded emotional delivery and seriousness. Alongside already renowned actors, Junho surprised critics with his consistent and intense performance. That was the first time audiences began to see him as a real actor, not just a singer trying to act. From then on, new roles emerged. Junho was cast in series and films across a variety of genres, from romance to drama, demonstrating versatility and dedication. He studied his characters in detail, immersing himself in the process with the same discipline he always applied to music. Over time, directors began to praise him for his professionalism and dedication, and fans also began to recognize his genuine acting talent. This transition wasn't quick or easy. There were criticisms, moments of insecurity, and roles that demanded much more than he imagined. But each project served as a stepping stone to solidifying his new image. Junho was no longer just a member of 2PM, he was building his identity as an actor. This period marked the beginning of a new phase in his career, in which music and acting complemented each other. While continuing to perform with the group, Junho began to chart an increasingly solid parallel path, demonstrating his versatility and expanding his presence in the entertainment industry. In South Korea, every man must complete mandatory military service, and Lee Junho was no exception. In 2019, after he had already built a solid career both in 2PM and as an actor, the time came to enlist. For artists, this period is often challenging, as it interrupts ongoing activities and keeps the public away for nearly 2 years. In Junho's case, there was one important detail: the old shoulder injury, suffered during his trainee days, continued to limit him. Because of this physical condition, he was unable to serve in the active forces, like many of his colleagues, but was assigned to serve as a civil servant during his time of service. This decision generated mixed reactions. Some understood that the injury actually prevented him from engaging in intense military activities, while others raised doubts. Junho, however, always maintained a serious and discreet demeanor, fulfilling his duty without seeking public justification or controversy. During this period, he completely stepped away from the stage and recording sessions, but he continued to prepare. He took advantage of the time to study, reflect on his career, and further mature as an artist. It was a forced break, but it also turned out to be a moment of personal growth. When he completed his service in 2021, many fans were eager to see him back in action. His return could have been a modest one, as is the case with some artists who lose their place during a hiatus. But Junho was different. His first major project after the military was the historical drama The Red Sleeve, where he played King Junho. His performance moved audiences and received critical acclaim, earning him major awards, including Best Actor at the MBC Drama Awards. Military service, which could have been an obstacle, ended up becoming a turning point. Junho returned more mature, more confident, and with an even stronger presence in the industry. The public noticed this evolution, and he definitively cemented his image not only as an idol, but as a well-rounded and respected actor. Lee Junho's return from military service marked a turning point in his career. By then, he was already recognized as a talented idol and a promising actor, but he still needed a role that would solidify his name in the artistic scene. That moment arrived in 2021 when he took on the lead role in the historical drama The Red Sleeve, playing King Junho of the Joseon dynasty. The production not only attracted enormous public attention, but also revealed Junho's artistic depth. His performance was praised for the way it combined emotion, strength, and vulnerability in a complex, historical character. The audience connected with every expression, every look, and every detail of his performance. The success was so great that the drama achieved high ratings, becoming one of the most talked-about productions of the year. With this work, Junho achieved something every artist strives for: recognition not only from fans, but also from critics and the industry. He received the Best Actor No MBC Drama Awards, in addition to being named Top Excellence Actor at other awards shows. These awards represented not only a personal victory, but also confirmation that his transition from idol to actor had been successfully completed. This recognition extended beyond Korea. Through streaming platforms, The Red Sleeve reached international audiences, allowing Junho to be discovered by thousands of new fans around the world. People who might never have followed his career in 2PM began to admire him as an actor, and his fan base grew globally. From that moment on, Junho was no longer just an artist who was part of a famous K-pop group. He became a well-rounded figure, respected for both his music and his acting. His global rise demonstrated that years of effort, marked by discipline, overcoming physical pain and resilience, had borne fruit that was now recognized across different countries and cultures. Lee Junho's journey is living proof that success rarely comes immediately or without pain. His life thus far has been marked by setbacks, obstacles, and challenges that could have put an end to his dreams. The shoulder injury, the years of grueling training, the pressure of being just one more in a group of great talents, the criticism for trying to act, the mandatory break from military service, each of these moments could have become a reason to give up. But, on the contrary, it was precisely these difficulties that shaped the strength that the public now sees in the complete artist he has become. From the boy who won a survival show in 2006, to the idol who struggled to stand out amid the glitter of 2 p.m., to the award-winning actor who conquered the world with the red sleeve, Junho has built a solid and admired career. He has shown that talent is essential, but that determination, discipline, and resilience are equally important. It is this combination that today earns millions of people respect, not only for his performances on stage or on screen, but also for the life story he inspires. His worldwide recognition isn't just a reflection of awards or audience numbers. It's the result of a trajectory in which each setback served as a catalyst for a new achievement. Junho became an example that dreams can be achieved even when everything seems to be against it. He proved that being a true artist means going beyond appearances and showing authenticity in every step taken. And now, I want to hear from you. What part of Lee Junho's story caught your attention the most? Did you already know all these details about his journey? Or did you discover something new here? Leave your comment, like the video, and share it so more people can learn about this inspiring journey. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to follow other exciting stories from the world of K-dramas and Korean music. Because, like Junho's story, there are many others that deserve to be told.